I always forget to test these things. Listen up, it's going down. So, I know Team White Chocolate was winning conch shells at the start of, but now we're at the halftime, so let's see how things are stacking up. White Chocolate is still winning. Okay. Not that it really matters. I mean, I'm still aiming for the goal of getting the gold thing in Turf War. I think you have to win, what, 10 defenders? It's something like that. I want to get that. Because that's one of the actual badges I can get. Unlike the hundreds of other badges that I will never be able to get. Most of them from Salmon Run. Some of them not, but most of them from Salmon Run. I don't know, someone once did a video about like, hey, here are the 10 hardest badges to get in the game. And I want to say, right, the defeat 1,000 Kohozunas was one of them. I mean, I haven't even defeated 10. I can't even remember if 10 is a badge. I know 100 is a badge. So yeah, here we are, Splatfest. It's the Valentine's Day Splatfest, because Valentine's Day is Tuesday. It's Tuesday, ain't it? And we got dark chocolate versus milk chocolate versus white chocolate. Currently, milk chocolate is... Or, not. Currently, white chocolate is winning. Of course, if one had to speculate, it's because it's white ink. And people go a little crazy for white ink. Personally, whatever. And I know the current ink we have is supposed to be, you know, like a chocolatey brownish. But it looks very orange to me, which I think it is supposed to... I mean, I know brown is a shade of orange, but it looks very orange to me. Are we on defense? No, we're on attack. Oh, wow. Starting off with all three teams. Okay. This is... Of course, they took one of the worst fucking maps in the game and made it into, Ooh. What the heck's happening with you? Yeah. Okay, I was like, why am I not dying? Because you're shooting nothing. Okay, there's the ultra signal. So yeah, I still, you know, I'm still addicted to this game, man. Like, I'm not playing it, like, every day like I should be. Because, again, video games nowadays are second jobs. That has not changed at all. Oh my god, they were right there. Well, we got the ultra signal. I'll take it. So yeah, it's interesting, because, so the enemy's team's ink is, right, white chocolate's ink is white. And... Right, dark chocolate's ink is blue? I wonder why they made it blue. That is... Like, I get white chocolate and milk chocolate, but I'm surprised they didn't go for, like... maybe not a black ink, but, like, something like a dark brown. But no. I definitely do think it looks... The milk chocolate... looks more like milk chocolate when next to the white ink. This is actually the first time I fought Team White Chocolate. And all my... I had never actually seen them in a match before this one. All my previous matches have either been up against my own team or against Team... or against Team Dark Chocolate. I don't even know why we're fighting. Dark chocolate. Again, I don't care if we win. Or I don't... Yeah, right. It doesn't matter. Like, right now we're winning, and I'll take it. But, like, it doesn't actually matter if us or dark chocolate wins. It just matters that white chocolate loses. That's all I care about. And yes, I did play a little of the Splatfest earlier. Right, when it first started yesterday, I played a little bit. Not too long. I played for like maybe half an hour. Definitely neat, because this is probably the last Splatfest before the next season starts. I don't know. It really depends on when the next season starts. Does it start in mid-March or late March? My guess would be late March. So there might be another one, but there also totally might not be. So I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see. Because yeah, I'm right now. I'm 3/4 of the way through the season pass. So I just got to get the rest of the season pass. So tonight, the bulk of the show tonight is Nintendo, right? Nintendo is what it's all about. They held a direct this week, right? Kind of like how the was it last week? Maybe it was 2 weeks ago, right? Microsoft was the big thing because they held a showcase. And the rumor is that Sony is going to hold a showcase. I don't know, in like soon-ish? I don't know. Supposedly Sony is going to have 2 shows. One soon, and one in like June. Or before June. Like right before June. Which, you know, that makes sense. So I see that as possible. But yeah, so we're mostly talking Nintendo Direct. We also have Switch sales figures. Because the Nintendo held their... the day before... Or maybe it was 2 days before the Direct. Nintendo held their quarterly earnings report. And in the quarterly earnings report, they talked about Switch sales figures. So we'll talk briefly about those. And then we will... And then finally, you know, we've got WIBE and some trailers. I don't know. Next week, we're going to have a bunch of trailers. Because of the Supers Ball tomorrow. Yep. So that's next week's problem, though. Plus, next week we also have Ant-Man, which I am excited for. Yeah, so Nintendo Direct. So let's start off with it. You know, we might as well just get it started. We started off with Pikmin. If you don't know, I am a huge fan of Pikmin. Not the biggest Pikmin fan in the world, right? There are definitely people who have more... who play the games more often than I do, and people who have more enthusiasm for the series than I do. But that doesn't... Right, just because people, like, do it more doesn't mean I don't... Right, that doesn't disqualify me. Just because I don't hit those same levels of intensity. Right? This isn't an us versus them thing. This is stupid fucking fandom bullshit. I don't know why I'm being so aggressive. So we started off with Pikmin. I love Pikmin. I'm super excited for the new game. All aboard the Pikmin train. Chugga chugga choo choo. And yeah, it looks great. Everything we see in the new trailer, I'm super excited for. We got some information outside of the trailer. Stuff like we know that all of the other Pikmin... So in the trailer, right, we got red, blue, and yellow. And we also get hints at, did they hint at anything else? Oh, and we got red, blue, and yellow, and ice. And then, I guess, outside of the trailer, on the game's official box art, they revealed that pink, white, and purple Pikmin would all be coming back. And then, I guess, in a different image, they revealed that rock Pikmin are coming back. So, as far as we know, every Pikmin type is coming back. Of course, there is also... I still do think, however, that there is going to be another type of Pikmin. That there is one type yet to be revealed. Because since Pikmin 2, most Pikmin games add 2 new types of Pikmin. Right? Pikmin 2 added white and purple. Pikmin 3 added rock and winged, or gray and pink. And this new game has, light blue? I guess we'd call them light blue. I don't think cyan. But they're ice. And then presumably they're going to have one other. It does look, though, that ice Pikmin are going to be an underground type of Pikmin. Because if you've never played... in Pikmin... So, Pikmin grow from this thing called the onion. But if you've never played Pikmin 2, purple and white Pikmin don't come from onions. They instead come from candy pop buds, which can only be found underground. And you don't actually even store them in the onion. You instead store them in your ship. And so, it looks like in the trailer, you see ice Pikmin are revealed underground. I do still hope, though, that they keep everything in one onion. Just because that's super convenient. You know, that was a great... 3 added so many great features. And one of them was, having all your Pikmin in one onion. So I'd really hate for them to get rid of that. Just to do something else, you know? Or to maybe break it up into... so you've got red, green... or, not green. You have red, blue, yellow, purple, or pink and gray rock in the onion. And then maybe your ship has, purples, whites, ice, and, whatever the other type is. So that's a total possibility. That's totally something they could do. It would also... part of it would be interesting is if they were only stored in the big ship, and you can only access the big ship at specific locations. You know what I'm saying? So, the big ship is only, so it seems like there are multiple spots in the trailer where you could drop the little ship in the onion, but maybe the big ship in the big ship that you see in the background of a few shots, maybe that's only in certain locations, and it's only from that certain location that you can get access to purples, whites, and ice. That'd be interesting. I don't know how much I love that, but I'm definitely not ruling it out. How did that not kill me the first time? So yeah, that's something else I've been thinking of. Of course, they do have Otachi, who works like a Pikmin, but he's also a mount. Which, again, I still stand by the theory that this is an open world game. That there's going to be multiple spots you can deposit your onion, but for the most part, the game is open world. And I think Otachi leads credence to that because he is a mount. He works like a horse in Breath of the Wild, or other mounts in other video... oh god, what's the name of the horse in The Witcher? Oh, come on, I used to know this one. The horse in The Witcher is called... I was trying to take it for myself. The horse in The Witcher is called... because it's different horses that all have the same name. It's not... Dandelion's the friend's name. Ah, I tried to jump off the wall. So yeah, whatever it's called. But so, and I think having a mount something that you could ride, makes the open world easier to explore. Ah, so close. One more second and we would have had it. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Other than that, I'm just super excited for the game. The nighttime mode, something I didn't. So I did a video. If you saw on the main channel, I posted videos. I did a trailer analysis, and I did one other thing. In that trailer analysis, the one thing I didn't point out, I pointed out the star bits. I didn't point out the diamonds. And that's something that, I'm noticing now going back. It's like, oh, there are diamonds everywhere in the shop. Of course, if you're collecting treasures for money, that makes sense, right? All these enemies are going to have diamonds in them that give you more money. I can't believe we got our ass kicked by the middle team. Even having 2 beacons, they just absolutely destroyed us. Wow. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Even having both beacons, the middle team was just so on top of things. Wow. That's actually kind of impressive. Like, if we had none of it, yeah, no, easily. But no, they were on top of shit. Holy crap. I definitely am losing track of the narrative here. Either way, I'm excited for Pikmin 4. I'm super excited. It comes out in July. That's a long time away. But when it comes, yeah, I'll be there. And hopefully, before it comes out, we're going to stream Pikmin's 1, 2, and 3. Because 3, I played 3 as recently as, last year. Technically, I actually have played it this year, but that was, the mission mode stuff. 3, I've played as recently as this year. 1, I haven't played in years. And 2, I haven't played in, 10 years. It's been a long time since I played 2. But I own all 3 of them again. Because I didn't actually own. Part of the reason why I've never replayed 2, and why it's been so long since I've replayed 1, is because I didn't own any of them. But I actually do own all 3 now. Because, yeah, I borrowed Pikmin 1 and 2 from a friend after playing 3. So, yeah, that's something we'll hopefully be doing. So we are not covering everything that happened in the Direct. Just the big stuff, the stuff that I chose to write down. Next up, we got the Xenoblade DLC. I'm a fan of Xenoblade. Even though I've only ever played the first game, I still do really like that first game. It's a really good game. The new trailer, we see an older Rex and an older Shulk. And it looks like something's going on with them, that's for sure. Right, they're going off against, what's his name? A character whose name I meant to look up before I started streaming today. And then just didn't. But yeah, we're going off against him, which I think is very interesting. That's that's a neat concept. Going off against Alan, Alphonse, whatever the heck his name is. That's going to be interesting. Specifically, again, I don't know if he shows up in 2, but from playing 1, yeah, no, that's fascinating. Having played 1. Because, yeah, I recognized his design immediately. I may not remember his name, but I remember his design. So that, I'm excited for that. But yeah, again, I don't know. I own 3, I own 2, and I've just never played either of them. So one day I will play both, but that day is not today, sadly. I don't know when that day will be. I can just tell you it's not today. Where? What else? Anything else from Xenoblade? They revealed a new character. Again, all the DLC's Xenoblade characters have been very interesting, that's for sure. That's how I describe it. Next up, Dead Cells Castlevania. I love Dead Cells. I think it's a fantastic game. I've put a lot of time into it. Not recently, but like closer back when it came out in like, what was it, 2016, 2017? Not 2017, like 2018, 2019. I put a lot of time into the game. I really like Dead Cells. It's a very good, very fun game. That, especially if you liked like something like Hades, part of me says it's harder than Hades, but I would still definitely recommend it. So yeah, it's a very good game. Castlevania, I know people love Castlevania. It still amazes me that Symphony of the Night isn't on the Switch. God, we got our ass. I was trying to cover white territory at the end there, and we still got our asses kicked. Ah, fuck. It's you know, I was doing okay earlier today, or when I played earlier. I was doing okay. And now I'm just getting my ass kicked around every corner. Oh my god. So yeah, I'm excited. You know, Return to Castlevania. They've got Alucard. They've got Richter. You can fight Death and Dracula. Those are both very cool things. I think it'll probably be a great DLC. But yeah, it blows my mind. Symphony of the Night is not on Switch. Why is it not on Switch? Because Konami's a bunch of fucking idiots. Is that really a question? Right? Like, Konami's fucking stupid. Of course it's not on Switch. They couldn't... I don't know. I can't even think of a metaphor. Whatever. Splatoon DLC. So I was expecting a new Splatoon season to get announced. I didn't think we would get the announcement of the DLC for a while. Especially because I didn't... Like, the side order is what I expected the DLC to be. And we don't have a release date for that at the moment. Again, I'm still predicting about a year from when the game's originally released. So, but I was expecting it to, you know, be a while until they announced the DLC. But no, they announced it right now because, guess what? Part of it comes out in spring. When in spring, I don't know. I'm going to predict March just because I think it's a safe prediction. But sometime in spring... And, what is the DLC gonna be? Well, the first part is Inkopolis. So, we're returning to the lobby from Splatoon 1. As far as I can tell, this return to the lobby in Splatoon 1 is entirely cosmetic. Right? Besides for, you know, a few, like, new characters and whatnot... There are no new gears, there are no new weapons. It's basically just as if they added a bunch of new skins to the game. Right? It's basically a new skin to the overworld lobby. Which, personally, I like the Splatoon 3 lobby a lot. I think the Splatoon 3 lobby looks very good. Shit. Yeah, I personally am a big fan of the Splatoon 3 lobby. I kind of don't want to go back to the Splatoon 1 lobby. I think the 3 lobby looks very nice. So yeah, it doesn't really appeal to me that much. Like, you know, if they were adding back both Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2 lobbies in the same update. I mean, and at the moment, I see nothing that stops them from because, you know, we all expect there to be some sort of reward for completing the DLC. Because in the first game, the reward was playable Octolings. So, right, getting some sort of reward in Splatoon 2 would make sense. Of course, if the first wave of the DLC is the playable lobby from Splatoon 1, what's to say the reward for Splatoon for beating the side order isn't the lobby from Splatoon 2? Just putting that out there right now. That's totally something I could see them doing, sadly. And I don't love that. But it's entirely possible that that's something they do. But, I mean, I still love Pearl and Marina. But no, I do really like the Splatoon 3 lobby. I honestly do think it's my personal favorite. So yeah, I really, the Splatoon 1 lobby, Inkopolis, does nothing for me. The Side Order DLC, now if you watch my reaction to the trailer, I say, oh wow, look at this. It's almost like an alternate reality where Order won. However, you don't realize it while watching it. My brain did not put together that the DLC was called Side Order because it's like an alternate side where the Order won the Splatfest. I was saying that completely visually, not even reading the name of the DLC. Because guess what? I'm a fucking idiot. But I still got it right. Oh my god. So yeah. Wow, we got nothing for that. I mean, we got 50, but... Yeah, so the DLC is Side Order, and you know, it's probably going to be the alternate reality where Order 1, it's probably still going to be canon, though. And I hope that, this seems to be all the callbacks to Splatoon 2. I hope Agent 4 shows up, because this looks like it looks like we're playing as Agent 8 again. And Agent, that means Agent 3 showed back up as Captain 3 in this game. We have Agent 3 Neo, and we have Agent 8 in this DLC. We just need Agent 4 again. And they do make, in the Octo expansion, they do make reference to being like, hey, once we get out of here, I'll introduce you to Agent 4. Or something like that happens. Maybe Marina says something like that. Something like that happens at some point. Maybe it might be, maybe I'll introduce you to Agent 3. Maybe I'm misremembering it. Either way, I'm excited to see Pearl and Marina again. I love them as characters. They're my favorite idols. Deep Cut's fine, but I'm excited to see them again, see what they've been up to since the last game, which there is a time skip between Splatoon 2 and 3. I don't remember how long it is, but I want to say it's like 3 years. So something has clearly happened. Oh, God damn it. It was taking too long to fall down. But yeah, so the Wave 1 of the DLC means nothing to me. Wave 2, on the other hand, I am interested in. However, as far as I can tell, they're only being sold in a bundle, right? You want to get Wave 2, you gotta buy Wave 1. But based on the pricing structure, I'm pretty sure that the Inkopolis, lobby skin only costs $5. And the actual story DLC is the remaining 20. Because I want to say the Octo expansion was only $20. I could be wrong about that, but that sounds right in my head. That the Octo expansion was only $20. So I think, in my head, that makes sense. I mean, to be fair, I mean, even if they were sold outside of a bundle, I'd still probably just buy the bundle. Right? It'd be weird not to. Just, if you're gonna get one, you might as well get the other. Plus, I'm so addicted to this game, man. I still love... Again, it was my game of the year last year. That has not changed. I still fucking love this game. I just gotta point out. But yeah, Side Order, I fully expect to come out in, I fully expect Side Order to come out in, September. September at the earliest, I should say. If it gets pushed off farther than that, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think September makes sense. Oh my god, we were so close. Next up, Advanced Wars finally got a release date. You know, out of all games announced in this direct, if you had told me if you had given me a list of games announced and told me one of these games dropped today, I would have guessed Advanced Wars. Because, you know, I know I've made no subtlety that I think Advanced Wars as a series is cursed, right? I'm not the only one who believes that. And it really, right, like, it would have made sense. Just get the game out now, get the physical edition out as soon as possible. But no, that's not what they did. Instead, it comes out April 21st, which I want to say the original release date for the game was April 20th. Something like that. It might have been like a week earlier or a week later. But basically, the game got pushed exactly a year. I think that's fine. I don't know if I'm picking it up. Part of me says yes, part of me says no. I don't know. We'll see when it comes. Next up, Kirby's Return to Dreamland. They announced the Magolor epilogue. So Magolor is getting his own epilogue. It's a neat idea. You know, I'll be honest, I think it's a neat idea. It's definitely they're definitely not adding zero content to this game. You know, for a remake, like, I remember when the remake was originally announced, it was like, oh, we're adding a new minigame and a new copy ability. And I was like, really? This is better. Having an entire Magolor epilogue, that's better. I don't know if I will pick it up. I've been very vocal about, like, you know, I like the game, it's a good game, I'm probably not going to pick it up. Because I played it on the Wii. Or on the Wii U, technically. Because I bought it during the Wii U's lifespan. But no, I've been very vocal about how, like, I'm probably not going to pick it up. But I did download the demo today. And, you know, maybe if I have a lot of fun with the demo, maybe I will pick it up. But probably not. But I think the Magolor epilogue is a good idea. I like the idea that Magolor, right, he starts off with 0 power, and then as you journey through the game, you know, you get those upgrades that get you new abilities, increase your power and everything. And Magolor plays a lot like seems to play a lot like he does in Star Allies, which I liked how Magolor played in Star Allies. I liked a lot of the Star Allies in Star Allies. Magolor, Marks was my favorite. But Magolor was cool. The mouse was cool. Sectonia. Taranza was his name. Susie. There were a lot of good Star Allies in Star Allies. The 3 Mage Sisters. Ribbon and Adeline. God. I know Star Allies has problems. I still really like Star Allies. What can I say? Then, after that, we got Game Boy Advance, or Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. And, you know, they're starting off with a few games. Not a crazy amount, but a few. Some notable admissions. I'm surprised Super Mario Land 1 isn't on here. Super Mario Land 2, I totally get. It's a great game. And we will be talking, because I did play it. I did boot it up just to play it, and because I've been wanting to play it for a while now. So we will talk about it in a little bit. So Super Mario Land 2 makes sense, especially because it's usually considered the better game. Like, the original Super Mario Land is one of the first games made on the Game Boy, if not the first game made on Game Boy. Super Mario Land 2, on the other hand, is made a few years later once they understood how the hardware worked, and they made a much better game. Just being completely honest, yeah, they made a much better game. But I still don't think that discredits the first one at all. I didn't even realize there was somebody there I killed. But, what are some... Metroid 2 is a good get. Tetris, of course... Like, you could not have Game Boy without Tetris. You need Tetris. What else? Wario Land 3 is a great get as well. And then games coming soon. We know the Oracle games are both coming. That's cool. You know, I'm excited for both Oracle games. Especially because, like Super Mario Land 3, I had been wanting to replay the Oracle games, but never have. right? It's one of those games that I've been kind of wanting to replay for the past few years. Because I've only ever... well, technically I've only ever played Oracle of Seasons, but you get my point. So having both of them is like, oh, that's cool, you know? I'm excited to play both of them again, actually. Whenever they come. And then they announced Game Boy Advance, and I'm glad they're doing both at the same time. You know, they easily could have pushed one or the other, but no, instead we get both Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. Because, you know, I've realized I have a big appreciation. Honestly, like NES, and even NES, SNES, and N64 coming to Virtual Console didn't really do that much for me. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Some of those, like, playing Ocarina of Time, I couldn't play Ocarina of Time on N64. The 3DS version is just 1,000 times better. However, Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, that does something for me. I'm just a big fan of handheld gaming, I guess. It's probably because I grew up with it, right? I spent way more time playing Game Boy and Game Boy Advance than I did playing N64 or PS2. And I never had a Game Boy Color. Right during the Game Boy Color age, I just had a normal Game Boy. And then in the PS2 era, I had a Game Boy Advance. I had the purple one. So yeah. The Game Boy Advance games, Minish Cap is a great get. We know Fusion's coming soon. We know, Golden Sun's coming soon. Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3, horrible name, by the way. It always has been. I'm only interested in because of the e-reader levels. A lot of those e-reader levels have only ever been available on the Wii U version of the game. They might have been on the Wii. I don't remember if the Wii had Game Boy Virtual Console. I know they were on the Wii U version, though. So, right, for a lot of those games, they've only ever been available for on one specific system. I can't remember. Is that the game that has You versus Boo? That might be Super Mario Advance 3. I don't know. I know one of those games has You versus Boo. Yeah. But no, that's another... Those e-reader levels are supposedly good. Hard, but they're interesting, and it's good we get stuff like that. Right? It's like if they were ever to put out some of the Centella View stuff again. It'd be like, yeah, finally. What else? Golden Sun. I know they're doing F-Zero. I know they're doing Fire Emblem. Really, I can't remember much of what launched now. Big things I hope they add in the future. I hope we get Zero Mission, obviously. You know, getting Fusion's great. But getting Zero Mission would also be pretty great. Because it is cool that we can now play all, or at least in the near future, we will be able to play all of the Metroid games that lead up to Dread. You know, that's actually pretty... It's pretty cool that the Switch will play every Metroid game. Except for Prime 2 and 3, and some of the weird spin-offs like Pinball and Hunters. But like every mainline Metroid game, yep, that'll be on Switch. That's cool. You know, I'm excited for that. Of the main series. Of course, I would also love to get Primes 2 and 3, but we'll just have to see about that. Maybe one day. You know, they don't even need to be remade. I'd be fine with them just porting the Wii U or the Wii version over. Why can I not hit you? What else launched now? I can literally only think of Minish Cap and Super Mario Advance 3. But yeah, Zero Mission would be a great get. Oh, Super Mario Kart Super Circuit, which, again, is the worst Mario Kart game. Which, you know, whatever. I mean, I know some people would argue it's the original. It's the original, and you know, I see that argument as well. But yeah. I don't know. I wanted in theory to make a list of all the games I would love to see come to Virtual Console. And because there's tons of them, right? Like, I'm sure they'll eventually add weird stuff on Game Boy, like Kicks, and, fucking some other weird... Was Mario Picross a Game Boy game? Right? I'm sure they'll add weird stuff like that. But, you know, I'm sure that there's also good stuff. Of course, there's tons of stuff on, Game Boy Advance they can also add. You know, again, I'm having trouble thinking of anything. But trust me, it does exist out there. I was going to make a list, and then I was just like, you know, let's start streaming an hour early. So I didn't make the list. Of course we lost. Yeah, we're getting our ass kicked this game. Next up, Metroid Prime. Again, it blows my mind that this is like, oh, it's available now. And I've seen a lot of people be like, why is it available now? Like, trying to, like, speculate on why Nintendo did this. And I have two main reasons. One is it's because if the rumors are to be believed, this game has been done since potentially 2019. So Nintendo has theoretically been sitting on this game for 4 years. That would explain why they just shadow drop it now, and that would also explain the cheaper price. Oh, Nintendo's had this game done for 4 years. People got paid for this game a long time ago. They can afford to charge people less for it because of that. And the second reason I think they drop it now, and they, specifically they charge less money for it, is because this game is advertising for Metroid Prime 4. Everybody who picks up Metroid Prime Remastered is more likely to buy Metroid Prime 4, because guess what? Metroid Prime is one of the greatest games of all time. I want to say Metacritic has it at like 19 on their highest rated games of all time. So yeah, every one person who buys this is more likely to buy it. So as a result, Nintendo has incentive to get this game into as many people's hands as possible. And if they sell it at $40, well yeah, they sell it at $40. That puts it in more people's hands. I myself have not bought it yet. I am waiting for... I'm a sucker for a physical game. With very few exceptions, I have bought almost exclusively physical games for years now. And admittedly, one of the games I actually do wish I had bought digitally was Splatoon here. I do... With the frequency I play Splatoon, I kind of wish I had bought it digitally. Because, right, I bought Animal Crossing digitally, and that was great, because I could have whatever game in my cartridge slot, and then I could still play Animal Crossing. I kind of wish I could do the same thing with Splatoon. I wish I could just have, like, Pokemon in my cartridge slot, and then just play Splatoon. Or whatever, right? Oh, whoa, do I want to play Fire Emblem? But nope, instead I gotta switch out cartridges. Yeah, whatever, it's no big deal. So yeah, I want to play Metroid Prime 4. I'll do it eventually, I'm probably going to pick up the physical release. Plus there are other things I'm playing right now, and we'll talk about some of them later on. Next up, Mario Kart 8 DLC. So we got the new stage, Yoshi's Island. Fantastic looking stage. If you saw the speculation video, my guess and other people's guess is that it's a single lap stage. So it's just one long lap that's split up into 3 sections. I'm fine with that. I like the novelty of 3 lap stages, I like Big Blue. Big Blue is actually, I'm okay with Big Blue. But I like Wario's Mountain. I like both the Mii stages and Mario Kart 7. I kind of do wish Rainbow Road was 2 laps, but whatever. If it had been 2 laps like the original. But no, I love 3DS Rainbow Road. There's the one I was thinking of. 3DS Rainbow Road is fantastic. N64 Rainbow Road, yeah, I wish that had been 2 laps. But no, that looks good. Of course, other courses to expect. You know, Amsterdam Drift is very possible. There was one course. Oh, Wario Stadium. We still expect to be in one of these DLC packs eventually. And then, of course, there are 4 more Rainbow Roads. While I would love for the final Blue Shell Cup to be nothing but Rainbow Roads, it's very unlikely. It would still be very cool, though. So we'll see. And then we got the reveal of the playable character Birdo. Good addition to come back. Definitely not the first character I would have brought back, but you know, cool. Trans rights. They did also post a message later stating that more characters from previous Mario Kart games will be returning in the future. So what other characters could they be bringing back? Well, without doing any research, like always, Wiggler. Wiggler was in Mario Kart 7. And yes, I think it would be hilarious to see Wiggler riding the Wiggler cart. Especially if he had the same stats as Waluigi. That making him like meta, like tier, like Wiggler would be hilarious. Wiggler on Wiggler. I love that. I love that. I think that's hilarious. So that's possible. Oh my gosh. I don't know what just happened there, but that was chaos. Queen Bee, who I don't think out of every character from a previous Mario Kart game, Queen Bee is I think the least likely to come back. Just being honest here. Yeah, I have very little faith in her. Funky Kong, on the other hand, from Mario Kart Wii, I think has a pretty decent chance. As does Diddy Kong from... I think Diddy Kong was in Mario Kart Wii. I think he also has a decently solid chance. Who else? I think Diddy Kong was in Mario Kart Wii, right? Of course, there's Donkey Kong Jr. from the original Mario Kart. And yeah, sure, it's possible. I don't think it'd be... Again, I would put Diddy Kong... I would write 9-1 on Diddy Kong, but... It's possible. I mean, I think they put Donkey Kong Jr. in Mario Kart Tour. For all that's worth. So, right, anything's possible. The other character... So, third-party characters... Right, the way they word it makes it sound like third-party characters can't be in it. You know, I'm rooting for Kirby. I would love for Kirby to make it in. Kirby is very unlikely. However, you know what not even third party. You know what non-Nintendo characters could make it in? You want to know who has a very decent chance? A non-Mario character? Rob. Rob was in Mario Kart DS. If he's not my first choice, but bring back him and his Gyromite stage? Or his Gyromite cart? Yeah, I'm amazed we got away with that. That Flingza was doing terrible. Yeah, no, bring back Rob in his Gyromite cart. That'd be great. You know, I'd love that. I think that cart would fit great with the game's customization. Another character who technically wasn't in the mainline Mario games, but he's been in a lot of the arcade games. Fucking Pac-Man. Yeah, Pac-Man has a less than 0 chance. Or a more than 0 chance of making it in, not less than 0. Pac-Man has a semi-decent chance to make it back in. So yeah, I would take Pac-Man. I think it'd be a cool addition. Of course, it's very unlikely, because I don't know if... I know Bandai Namco worked on, like, Smash Bros. And whatnot. I don't think they worked on Mario Kart. I could be wrong about that. But I don't think they did. But, you know, Nintendo's got a very good relationship with Bandai Namco. You never know. Let's see. But yeah, so those are the 4 characters that come to mind off the top of my head. But literally anything is possible. Again, I'm rooting for Kirby. My boy Kirby deserves to be in Mario Kart ever since that Smash Bros. Trailer that literally put him in Mario Kart. Give him a star kart to go along with it, because there's no rule that says they can't add new karts as well. Right? If they're literally just making this up as they go. But I still think the Mario Kart DLC has been fantastic so far. I've loved all of it. So yeah. And then the final thing of the showcase was Tears of the Kingdom. So I was like, yeah, that's a pretty good trailer. But, because one of the best trailers of all time is the Breath of the Wild story trailer from the Switch reveal event in January of 2017. And I was like, okay, I remember that being one of the best trailers of all time. This was a good trailer. I wonder how the two compare. So I went back and I watched the 2017 Breath of the Wild trailer. It is still one of the best trailers of all time. Even though I have played the game, the trailer still brought tears of joy to my eyes. It was so amazing by every metric. I love it. And this trailer just does not stack up in comparison. But part of me thinks that you'll never, even with the sequel to Breath of the Wild, that's just one of the, if not the greatest game trailers of all time. You will just never be able to match that. Maybe that's just my hot take there. That I don't even know if it's possible. But that doesn't mean this is a bad trailer. My problem is, and this was, okay, originally my problem was, I feel like we know nothing about this game. Right? Like, for everything we've seen of it, I still feel like we know very little. Like, Nintendo's keeping, like, we've seen some things, but Nintendo is still keeping us in the dark a lot of the time. For a lot of this game, Nintendo has, been keeping us in the dark. And originally I was like, maybe that's a problem. But the more I think about it, I'm actually fine with that. I'm actually fine with a trailer that keeps you in the dark. In the modern day, right, we have so many trailers that just give away the whole fucking game. Or that give away, specifically talking about movies here, that give away the whole movie. I didn't even watch the most recent Ant-Man trailer because it just gave away too much. Or at least I started it, got like 30 seconds in and was like, nope, this is giving away too much. Same thing with the Shazam trailer recently. Right, there was a new Shazam trailer a few weeks ago. I stopped watching it halfway through because I was like, this is giving away too much. So in a world where trailers give up way too much information, it's actually really nice to have Tears of the Kingdom be like, oh, we're going to tell you nothing. Oh, you're not going to know anything about this game. I mean, we know things. I think it was Arlu who said that he already feels like he knows too much. Which, I don't know if I agree with that. But I definitely see where he's coming from. God damn, so close. But yeah, no, I definitely see where they're coming from. And you know what? I guess I'm fine. If we don't get another... a part of me still expects a full direct. Right? I wouldn't be surprised if we get a full Tears of the Kingdom direct. However, if we don't, I'm actually fine with that. If we get, one or two more small trailers, we never get, a story trailer or anything, and the game just comes out at the end of May, yeah, I'm fine with that. There are worse ways to go. Yeah, there are worse ways to do things. So yeah, let's just, I'm fine with just letting it roll the dice. It's still, I think it's earned itself up like a spot. Because we all know it's the new Zelda. We know it's gonna be, right? Nintendo has done nothing to make us think that this is gonna be a bad game. They're fucking Nintendo. It's Zelda. Zelda's bad games are what? Fucking Wand of Gamelon? The other two whose names I'm forgetting? Right? Those aren't even made by Nintendo. That's it. Most other Zelda games are really good. Even Zelda 2, the black sheep of the series, still pretty, right, it's still decent. I don't love it, but it's decent. So yeah, that was the Nintendo Direct. Personally, I am very positive on it. I really liked it. Again, Pikmin, Zelda, those two do a lot for me. But everything else I mentioned is also, I would think it's a good direct if it had just been those two trailers. However, everything else here was pretty great. Tons of stuff to be excited for. There's a tons of stuff I didn't mention as well. But to be fair, some of those games, like A Fantasy Life, or Batsu Shuriken? Something like that. There's that one DS game made by the people who do Professor Layton. I think there is also the new Professor Layton. Or maybe it's the Ace Attorney. I don't know. There's that. I want to say it's the Professor Layton people. They put out a DS game where you're like trying to kill people or something, and it's getting remastered, and supposedly people fucking love that game. And they're really happy it's getting a remake. But yeah, all of the games that are getting remade, I've heard good things about in the days since the Direct. And yeah, and then there's a ton of stuff, right? The Professor Layton. The, that fashion game looks fine. You know, I know we always shit on stuff like that. But no, games like that deserve to exist. They deserve to be on Switch. And I'm fine with giving them time. I think you're just a bunch of fucking curmudgeons. Yeah, I said it. Fucking sue me. So yeah, I'm very positive on this Nintendo Direct. Definitely the most positive I've been on a Direct in a while. Because I don't think I was too positive about the September Direct. I could be wrong. Maybe it was the September Direct 2 years ago. I don't know. I know there was one Direct that people generally liked that I was like, it's okay. And I want to say it was either the last September... It was one of the Directs last year, but I just don't remember which one. So yeah, I really like this one. You know, everything else, those two games sell it for me. Everything else is just icing on the cake. It all looks great. I'm super excited. We've got a little ways to go until then, obviously. Pikmin isn't until July. Zelda is in May. Other things are in other times of the year. But we got Metroid Prime now. You know, we can all go play Metroid Prime. I may not be now, but I will eventually. I'll get around to it. And I'm excited to play Breath of the Wild again, you know? The DLC, I picked up the DLC on sale, and we're going to check it out next month. You know, I'll be here for that. So yeah, there's some good stuff here. Shit. Okay, we're still fine. So yeah. So next up, we got Nintendo sales figures. And, so Nintendo does their quarterly earnings call. This is their one for the beginning of the year. And the big things in this quarterly earnings call, the Switch has now sold 122 million units. That puts it as the third best-selling console of all time, behind only the Nintendo DS at 150 million, and the the PlayStation 2 at 155 million. So it just has to be those two, and then it is the best-selling game or system of all time. However, that's like 30 million in to go. And with the Switch's supposed lifespan ending this year, that's a lot of copies to sell in a year's time. You know? Or next year, I mean. With the end of the Switch being next year, right, that's a lot of systems to sell. I don't think they'll make it, personally. Of course, the Switch 2 or whatever might not be until 2024, or 2025, I mean. It might still be a ways away. But even still, even if it is that far away, I still think that's a lot of units to sell. I don't know if they can do it. But I'd love to see them try. Again, I know people are like, oh, the Switch is old hardware, and it is in a lot of ways. You know, it was current gen during the Xbox One and PS4 era. That era has ended. It'll be 3 years this year. 3 years, right? Something like that. Because I want to say the PS5 came out 2020, and we're in 2023. Sounds right. So, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I do agree that the Switch is old hardware, but it's not bad. Like, the new Breath of the Wild game looks great. We'll see how it actually... I know the original Breath of the Wild had issues, but it didn't bother me. I heard the new Metroid Prime game both looks and plays great. The new Pikmin game looks beautiful. Nintendo knows how to work hardware. They know how to make good games on limited hardware. It's just everybody else that has a problem. And to be fair, that's how it always works. Right? Sony understands their hardware better than anybody else. That's how it's always worked. Right, again, I'm using the comparison of Super Mario Land to Super Mario Land 2. Super Mario Land is just like, oh, we're doing the bare minimum because nobody knows how to work a Game Boy. Super Mario Land 2 is, we're gonna push the Game Boy to its fucking limits and do as much with it as we can. And make a genuinely great game, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in a little bit. So yeah, 122 million sales. Pokemon, within 4 weeks of its release, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet have sold 20 million units. In that same time period, Sword and Shield sold 16 million units. And that puts Pokemon Scarlet and Violet as the 4th best-selling Pokemon game of all time, with Gold and Silver at 23 million, Sword and Shield at 25 million, and Red, Green, and Blue at 31 million. So Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, if they just need to sell 10 million more units, and it will be the best-selling Pokemon game of all time. I've seen some people deride this as like, oh, this is the end of Pokemon. You know, this awful game sold so many copies. Nintendo, or the Pokemon Company, is never going to learn their lesson, and they're just going to keep putting out shitty Pokemon games. I definitely feel like that's a very pessimistic way of looking at things, but it might not entirely be wrong. It might not. It's definitely... I don't think it's right, but it's not... It's definitely just a very pessimistic way of looking at things. But we are in late-stage capitalism. You know, anything's fucking possible. Like, would it have surprised me if at any point the Pokemon Company tried to do NFTs? Not for a fucking second. No. NFTs, that would not... If it wasn't for NFTs being super fucking popular, and Nintendo having the Pokemon Company on some form of leash, I 100% could have seen the Pokemon Company doing NFTs. That definitely feels like something they would do. There's no... I did not mean to grab it yet. They're definitely... Yeah. But that's the Pokemon Company. You know, they're the fucking scummy underbelly of Nintendo. We don't like to admit it. Okay, some people don't like to admit it. But they are the grimy, smelly underbelly of Nintendo. They're the ones who will do the shitty business practices that Nintendo, for the most part, avoids. But no, I totally can see Scarlet and Violet becoming the best-selling Pokemon game of all time. I guess there's also been some sort of leak recently involving Pokemon Home and the complete national decks. And, you know, if they really do decide to put out some banger DLCs for Scarlet and Violet that include bringing back the national decks, I realistically could see this becoming the best-selling Pokemon. Yeah, easy. I easily can see that. Especially when they're working on a unit base of 122 million copies. Right now, what is it? 1 in every 6 people who own a Switch own Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Mario Kart is at 52 million copies. That's almost 1 in every 2 people who own a Switch own Mario Kart. That's fucking insane. I mean, I feel like that's how the Wii U worked. I feel like the Wii U's base was like that. That, right? Basically, it was like 1 in every 2 people own Mario Kart on the Wii U. I don't think we have this. We took the last sprinkler in time, but I don't think we have it. But no, I could totally see Pokemon crossing that. Yeah, oh god, we definitely don't. Did we take the last sprinkler? Yeah, we did. No, we needed to take it like 30 seconds earlier. But yeah, no, everything's... Nintendo did actually, though, say that they are expecting to sell less Switches this year. But that they're blaming that on chip shortages. Because, you know, those are still a thing. Yeah, I mean... PS5s are getting easier to find. I've seen them out in the wild. But chip shortages are definitely still a thing. And and even though Nintendo, sold less Switches last year, like I said when talking about the Direct a few days ago, Nintendo actually gave their employees a 10% raise. Right? Microsoft fired... What was it? Was it like 10,000 people? It was something fucking crazy like that. Microsoft fired a bunch of people. Meanwhile, Nintendo over here is actually giving their staff a 10% raise. Admittedly, part of that is government mandated, but they still did it, right? That's not denying the fact that they are doing that. Even though, right, because again, capitalism is based on the idea of infinite growth, right? And in order to meet that infinite growth in a year where you don't do as well, you have to fire a bunch of employees, right? If you want to buy a multi-billion-dollar gaming company like Activision Blizzard for $6 billion, or however the fuck much it was, you have to fire 10,000, I almost said 10 million, you have to fire 10,000 employees. Meanwhile, Nintendo, who, you know, didn't do as well as they did the year before, still did well enough to give their employees a 10% raise. So, fuck capitalism. Next up, so I have one trailer to talk about tonight. I expect a lot of trailers tomorrow. I expect a lot of new movie trailers tomorrow. However, we did get a trailer for the new Fast and the Furious movie. That came out yesterday. I love the Fast and the Furious movies. Not originally. I remember going to see 3 and 4 in theaters. Did not care for 3 and 4. Really not interested in it at all. However, 5 was fantastic. Best movie in the series. 6 was great. 7 was fun. 8 was fun. 9 was fun. I know 9 is probably the weakest of the fun ones. Still fun. Doesn't matter, have fun. You know? And 10, same thing here. The villain this time is Jason Momoa, and I'm very excited because they're setting up Jason Momoa as one of the people they stole money from in the 5th movie. I need to rewatch the 5th movie because I don't remember all the details of them stealing money. Because I remember, with the 5th movie, I remember the villain being more of, fucking The Rock. Because he was the FBI agent trying to stop them. Than it actually being the people they were stealing the money from. Oh, we got the old... Fantastic. We got the Ultra Signal. So yeah, I need to rewatch the 5th movie, obviously. It's been a few years since I've seen it. But it is the best movie in the franchise. I'll tell you that right now. I don't think a new one can beat that. You know, I know they're setting up a lot of big stuff here. You know, Jason Momoa, Brie Larson's in it as well, and I you know, think whatever you want of Brie Larson, I'm actually really excited to see her in this. I love when they pull in right? Like, I thought John Cena was great casting, and I still stand by that. He's great casting as Dom's brother. So whatever they've got Brie Larson doing, yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for Jason Momoa. I'm honestly surprised I wonder if Dave Bautista is going to be in one of these. Because there's only one left after this. They're going to... This last one is a 2-parter. So Dave Bautista is that's one of the few actors who I would expect to be in one of these movies who isn't. But then again, he's doing more serious roles. And he seems to be finding great success in it. Out of all of the wrestlers turn actors, he is the best one. Right? I have fun with John Cena. I can have fun with The Rock. Not always, but sometimes. But no, Dave Bautista's generally actually pretty good at what he does. And you know, I'm glad he's having fun with it. I'm amazed we're losing this. Whatever. But yeah, no, I thought the new trailer looked great. You know, rocket machines strapped to cars, fucking dodging a giant metal ball, helicopter shooting at Dom. Yeah, it all looks good. I'm excited for a new Fast and the Furious movie. Just, I love them so much, man. They're so much fun. They really are. They're stupid, but they're so much fun. And I guess that takes us to WIBE. Yeah. It's not like I had much to say on the Fast and... Again, we'll have a lot more to talk about next week. So, did I see a movie this week? No, I didn't. What do I have to start? Let's start with, I guess... Let's start off with food stuff. Right, last week I talked about my quest for foodstuffs and how I hadn't found anything, but I was working on it. And this week I actually did find some stuff. I found the new Oreo. So, you know, Oreo puts out all these weird flavors and whatnot. And this year, or this month or whatever, their weird flavor was... It was called the Most Oreo Oreo. It's basically... You know how, like, there's cookies and creams, which is basically Oreo's flavor? Yeah, it's cookies and cream flavored Oreos, which is Oreo flavored Oreos. Very logical thing. You know, I'm surprised they'd never done it before. God, that's a lot of rollers. But yeah, so it's cookies and cream flavored Oreos. A very funny idea. You know, it's a very funny idea. I thought that was them. So yeah, and I tried it. There's a lot of stuff in it, right? Because they're aping off of the Most Stuffed Oreo, which was an Oreo a few years ago that had a lot of stuffing in it. And I did not like those. That was too much stuff, in my opinion. However, these, they've got a lot. But I think the idea of cookies and cream is a flavor I do like. Oh my god. Who had the vacuum? Was that... I don't know which team had that vacuum, but that vacuum was screwing me over there. Oh, it must have been you. You have the big swig. Don't know what the Dapples, or the normal dualies have. But yeah, so I thought the Most Oreo, they had a little too much stuff in them for my liking. But other than that, I think they were fine. Yeah, I was fine with them. Yeah, you know, I was able to find a pack at Target. The other thing I found at Target, and I didn't find a 12-pack. I only found a single bottle that I've already drank. And that was Pitch Black flavored Mountain Dew. I don't remember the original Pitch Black Mountain Dew, admittedly. Like, I probably did have it, but I don't remember it. But I had this new one. And, you know, this new Pitch Black Mountain Dew, it's described as, like, a citrus flavor. But it's grape. It's grape flavored Mountain Dew. Like, that really is it. That's the best way to describe it. Grape flavored Mountain Dew. It's not the worst thing I've ever had. No, it's not the worst thing I've ever had. But I definitely wouldn't say it's the best. Right, like, I had, like, those fucking... Like, one, I don't like grape that much. That's an important thing to say. I don't like grape that much. But, right, like, there's that fruitcake Mountain Dew. No. But if I couldn't finish those. However, if I had a 12-pack of this, I could probably finish a 12-pack of these. Whereas, I still have those fruitcakes just sitting on my fucking kitchen floor. There. So yeah, I thought, you know, it was definitely not the worst Mountain Dew flavor I've had, but you know, I've definitely had other ones I preferred in the past. Catbug. So yeah, video game wise. So the first thing we should talk about is Super Mario Land 2. Right? So I only have the normal Nintendo Switch Online. But they made Game Boy part of the normal Nintendo Switch. Game Boy Advance is part of the other tier. So I was like, oh, well, so I can download the Game Boy one. So that's exactly what I did. I downloaded Game Boy. And I had been wanting to play Super Mario Land 2. Super Mario Land 2, I would describe as the... What was it? The most forgotten Mario game? The least popular Mario game? I would not call it the black sheep of the Mario games. That's Sunshine. Sunshine is the black sheep of the Mario games. This one just not a lot of people talk about. But those who do talk about it know it as a really good game. Like, the original Mario Land is pretty... Right, people know about the original Mario Land. But it's got some problems, right? Specifically, it being the first Mario game on Game Boy, and one of the first Game Boy games ever. Mario Land 2, on the other hand, came out a few years later. Nintendo had a better understanding of the hardware. And, they just had a better understanding of Mario. Mario Land 2 is to Mario what Link's Awakening is to The Legend of Zelda. They're very similar games in a lot of ways, actually. And you can see them, right, Link's Awakening takes influence from Link to the Past, but kind of expands on it, and it's been described as like a parody in the past, and I kind of agree with that. And that's kind of how I think of Mario Land 2. It expands on ideas from something like Mario World, but it's kind of like parodying it, right? Like, you've got a world map where you can explore 6 different worlds, but you've got some weird, wacky worlds. Like, there's an underwater world called Turtle World that you get to by being swallowed by a turtle. There's a space world you get to with zero gravity mechanics that you get to by being by hopping in hippo snot and floating your way to space. There's a mini world, right, where you're like little tiny Mario. It's basically, like Tiny Big World in Mario 3. It's like that. Or I guess also Tiny Big World might not be the name of the world. That might be the name of the world in 64, but it's technically that started in Mario 3. Right, it's got one of those in it. It's got a, you enter a giant mech Mario, and you've got, like, a gear world, kind of like Tick-Tock Clock from 64. Right, it's got a lot of weird stuff like that, but it all works really well. So yeah, I played through the entire game. I beat it. It took me 2 hours. It took me 2 hours to beat. So it's to be fair, that's longer than Super Mario Land 1, which you can do in like 30 minutes. But it worked really well. It's a really fun game. It's really simple. You've got a Fire Flower, which gives you a little feather in your cap. You've got bunny ears, which are your Tanuki suit or cape feather or whatever. And those work really well as well. They're actually... Part of me actually likes them more than something like the Tanuki suit or the bunny ears. Because while you don't get much vertical height, you have really good horizontal height with the bunny ears. And that's kind of why I like them. It's because, yeah, you're able to get horizontal height. And you can keep it for almost an entire stage. But yeah, it's a really simple, yet well-constructed game that gets forgotten about most of the time. But it works well. Like I said, I am surprised Super Mario Land 1 isn't on Nintendo Switch Online. I know it's definitely the worst game. Because, yeah, well, people are... Go watch the Brental Floss song. That's all I can say. Right? People are divisive on Mario 2, but everyone can agree Super Mario Land... People are divisive about 1, but everyone can agree Super Mario Land 2 is good. And yeah, they're completely right. But I actually haven't played this game in a long... Because I owned Mario Land 1. I did not own Mario Land 2. Where did I even play Mario Land 2 the first time? I can't even remember the first place I played Mario Land 2. Yeah. But it's a good game. I do, especially if you're like, it's basically Pocket World. It's like Super Mario. I definitely compare it more to Super Mario World than I would Super Mario Brothers 3. Maybe some people would compare it to 3, but it reminds me more of World. And it's a very good game. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I played through it in 2 hours. I beat the game with like 30 something lives because there's a slot machine you can go to, and in the slot machine I paid the max number of coins. And yeah, I got 30 lives. There's bosses in the game. The 6 worlds all end with a boss, including refighting the final boss of the original Super Mario Land, Tatonga. Yeah, it's a very solid, very fun game. I do recommend it. If you've never played either of the Super Mario Lands, 2 is definitely worth your time. 1 may, give it a chance. Again, you can beat it in 30 minutes. But 2 is definitely good. Like, 2 is a genuinely great game. A hidden gem amongst the Mario franchise. Not a black sheep, right? Again, people who play it love it. It's just not that many people played it. But of the mainline Super Mario franchise, of which there are 18 games, there's a YouTube video about a guy asking how many Super Mario games there are. And I agree with when I first watched the video and I was like, how many are there? I counted in my head and I was like, yeah, 18. And yeah, I agree with his assumption of 18. So yeah. And yeah, Super Mario Land 2 is on there. But yeah, it's definitely the hidden gem of the franchise. The other game I played. So, with Tears of the Kingdom coming out in less than 100 days, if you're really excited to play Tears of the Kingdom, and you really want to play it, but maybe you don't want to play Breath of the Wild again because you put 1,000 hours into it, and you just can't wait, well, I've got a game for you. Little Gator Game. In this game, you're playing as a little gator with all of your friends, and you're playing make-believe on this island that you can go around and explore, and it plays like Breath of the Wild. There's climbing mechanics, you get a paraglider, you can shield surf. It literally does, at multiple points, make reference to Breath of the Wild. Like, you literally reference that you're playing a Zelda game. Like, you're basically just make-believe playing pretend Zelda. Like, the game's not subtle about that at all, but it's actually very charming in that front. But yeah, you're just on a little island playing with your friends. You're trying to get the attention of your big sister, right? The little gator has a big sister who's off in college, who's come home for fall break, and you want nothing more than to get her attention, right? To have her play with you. But she's too busy working on her project over fall break, so she won't play with you. And the entire game is, you're just doing that to get her attention. You're making friends, doing little side quests to help out people. It's very cute, very charming. Another game I would compare it to other than Breath of the Wild is A Short Hike, which is another very good game I do recommend. And that one you can beat in like an hour. This one, admittedly, I have not beat yet. I only just started playing it like a few hours ago after beating Super Mario Land 2. But it is very good. Like, it is a good game. So I definitely would recommend it. I picked it up on sale like last week. Maybe even earlier this week, actually. So it might still be on sale right now. But it is a very solid, little fun game that, yeah, it's basically as if an indie studio did Breath of the Wild. And in every aspect, it works very well. It's fun, it's charming. The little gator is so adorable. Like, I love them. They're so cute. Their little waddle as they walk, the shield surf. Your sword is a stick, but you can get other swords, like, I got a magical fairy wand and a pencil. Oh my god. They just kept, we were so busy dealing with blue team that white team just snuck up on us with that roller and just took the ultra signal from us twice. I don't know. I don't think we can win this. I don't know. We might. Because I feel like other than taking the ultra signal, white team hasn't really been doing much. But taking that ultra signal was huge. Like getting that's going to cause a lot of chaos. We might actually be fine. I think we're actually probably fine. Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about more about Little Gator Game when I beat it next week. Or, maybe even tomorrow. I don't know. Super Bowl, whatever. But so far, I have been really... In the, like 2 hours I put into it, I have been really enjoying it. It's very cute. It's very fun. It's just an all-around very charming Breath of the Wild-like game. And yeah, I mean that as, the sincerest compliment. Right? This isn't like me being like, oh yeah, games like Elden Ring and Horizon have Breath of the Wild elements. And that is technically true. There it is, the Defender splash tag, yay! I've been working, I worked so hard for that one. That one was a pain in the ass to get. Of the, things that were achievable. That one was a pain in the ass, but I did it. I got it. When are we going to get the ultimate splash tag for this weapon? I should check that. But yeah, that's Gator Game. We'll talk more about it next week. Because, I gotta beat it. The final thing we gotta talk about tonight is South Park. So, I'm a fan of South Park. I do think the show, just to give you my history, I think the show is really good. My personal favorite seasons are when I, as a kid, teenager, was allowed to start watching it. Around season 12 or 13. I think that was when my father finally... Because he had parental blocks on the TV. But I think it was around, 12 or 13 was when he was like, yeah, okay, as long as I approve the episode, you can watch it the next day. So episodes like Broadway Bro Down and Crave Freeze he wouldn't let us allow. But other ones he would. So you're right, those will always be my favorite seasons. But I felt like the show was very good. And they started doing serialization in season 18. And that worked very well. Season 18 was great. Season 19 was great. And then we get to the presidential election in 2020. And they thought Hillary was going to win. She didn't. And so the season sucked. Right? They wrote the season with the intention of Hillary winning. And when Trump won, their plans for the season just fell apart. And they never recovered from that. South Park is, I think, still a fine show. But I feel like since season 20, that just kind of killed their momentum. And they've just never been as good since then. Right? They kind of lost... For season 20, Donald Trump, the modern day political sphere, capitalism, all that shit, just kind of ruined South Park. And they've never been able to recover since it. Not that they've been making a bad show... It's just never been as good. Because South Park, someone once described South Park as a political Rorschach test. You will see whatever politics you want to see in South Park. I see an extremely left-leaning show. That doesn't mean it doesn't make fun of the left. It definitely does. But I see left-wing politics in South Park. Someone else can watch South Park and see extremely right-leaning politics. Completely miss the fact that the show is making fun of them. It is a Rorschach test. Everybody sees something different in South Park. And that's kind of one of the things I like about it, that you can see whatever you want. So I enjoy South Park. I do. So the new season started up, and of course, Valentine's Day is this week, and there's Cartman has the little me that is the Cupid, so they turn it to Little Ye, right? They make fun of Kanye West in this one, right? Little me becomes Little Ye, and he is a Yahtzee who is, going for extermination. And yeah, they played up, he literally uses the Cupid powers, but to, turn people into Yahtzees. And I'm saying Yahtzee because of algorithms. I know I say fuck all the time, but algorithms, man. Fucking algorithms speak. It's our lives nowadays. I really need to stop saying fuck as much. But yeah, and so yeah, that's the entire episode, right? It's just them. It starts off with a Token and Kyle making TikToks, which I guess they did make a real TikTok channel that I guarantee you will be immediately forgotten. Like, they'll make this one joke on it this week, and then they will never mention it again. So yeah, that won't surprise me at all when that happens. But yeah, I thought it was a fine episode. Them making fun of Kanye West, getting someone to force Kanye to take his meds, right? That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, just Kanye West is a Nazi. And yeah, they fully admit it, and they condemn him for that. I mean, even Cartman, the guy who literally dressed up as Hitler in that one episode, literally even condemns him. So yeah, that just, again, I definitely feel like Cartman's changed a lot over the years. I don't think Cartman is the same person who fed Scott Tenorman his parents fucking 20-something years ago now. Cartman's a completely different character nowadays. They all are. But that's kind of the point, right? People change over time. Matt Parker and Trey Stone have changed a lot. I do love the joke in this episode where in the end credits of the episode, it's South Park, created by Matt Stone, directed by Matt Stone, Trey Parker, assistant to Matt Stone. That's because the whole plot, right? A big element of the plot is that Cupid Yee is trying to convince everyone that the Jews control Hollywood. We got those ultra signals way too easy. So as part of that, right? Of course, Kyle and Stan are stands in for Matt and Trey. So, of course, right, having the joke be that, oh, Matt, right, he controls the entire show and Trey's just his assistant, I think is a very funny joke. So, I like that. I thought that worked really well. And that's just that's one of those things that's like, oh, you gotta notice it in the end credits. But I think it is a very solid, very funny joke. And yeah, so yeah, I'm excited for a new season of South Park. I definitely am not the biggest fan of the show nowadays, but some of those classic seasons, like in the lead up to this episode, I was like, I kind of want to watch some old episodes of South Park. So I did exactly that. I watched some old episodes, and those old episodes are still very funny. I still have a soft spot for a lot of those old episodes. So yeah, I still enjoy it, right? So some of those are so fucking good. Oh my god, you still got the kill on me. So yeah, South Park. Still, I'll still watch it. It's not as good, but I'll watch it. There are far worse things I could be watching right now. I think Velma had its season finale on like Tuesday this week. Awful. Fucking awful show. At least, again, I literally did not... I think I watched the first, 3 episodes, and that was it. I couldn't even be bothered to watch past that. But, yeah, so there are far worse things I could be watching right now. So I guess that does take us to the outro. I mean, we talked about the Nintendo Direct for an hour. What did you expect? We did okay tonight. I definitely... I mean, I'm glad we got that achievement, or that trophy, which I think that was 5 wins. So we at least got... I want to say we needed 5 wins. We might have needed 4. But it was something like that. So we got that, and I'm very glad to have that. We're at level 78. Not terrible. We made champion. Yeah, I definitely didn't win too many games tonight, because I didn't get past champion. But I got the thing I needed. Because I still have the other splash tag. But this one... This is the one that matters. The defender. The attacker, you know, everyone has attacker. Attacker's pretty easy to get. Defender... Where am I? I want to check where I am in this weapon. God, we still have... I feel like I've done so much with this weapon. And we still have so much... Like, wow. I can't believe I'm actually tied with these two. Neither of those surprise me. That's higher than I would have thought. That's actually a lot higher than I would have thought. I don't... I've seen so many golden arrow sprays tonight. Golden arrow spraying is the weapon of the Splatfest. It really is. Alright, we've got a lot of shells to spin tonight. We've got 8. So maybe we'll get something good. Probably not. Lonely Maniac. Oh, I love my current... Oh, we got a splash tag for presumably spending money? I love my current little splash tag nickname. I cannot, you know, I was trying to think. I cannot remember the last time we had a 10x match. Maybe it's because we're mostly playing in, Tricolor. Tricolor, do 10x's exist in Tricolor? I honestly don't know. But I cannot remember the last time I got a 10x match. Even in even playing, like, off-stream, like, in the day before, where I'm just doing the normal Splatfest, right, where I'm just doing, normal, open, or pro. I cannot remember the last time I had a, 10x battle. I've never had a 100x. Because I know there's something to do with, like, these pearly clams that you can find. But I've literally never seen them. I've only ever gotten, like, 2 or 3 in a single Splatfest, and they reset every Splatfest. So I don't know if there's, like... Because there's clearly, like, a certain number you can collect. Big man alive. Yeah, I've never seen enough of them. Oh, it's time to... I always forget to check the amiibo. But even still, I have had no luck this past week. The, like, 1 or 2 days I did check it. I don't know why it does not want to give me gear. It just straight up does not want to give me gear. Finally. Oh, finally the last 2 pieces. Oh, thank gosh. I've been waiting so long and it's been giving me nothing. Oh, so I guess in the data mine for the game. And in the shoal, which where the hell... You know, I was thinking about this the other day. Where is the shoal? Is it right up here? I don't think I've ever actually even been in here. So let's go in here real quick. If it'll let me. So, I guess people in the data mine of the game, people have found a working version of these tabletop machines here in the shoal. So, and it looks like in the next update, the 3.0 update, they're going to add real-time table turf against other people. Because right now you can like battle other people's table turf decks. But no, it looks like in the next update we'll be finally getting table turf versus other players. And yeah, it's based on these machines here in the shoal, which I've never been to. Because this is all for local multiplayer stuff. Hey, I honestly thought this was the the freaking test thing that you get at Ammo Nights, but no, it's not. It's actually completely different. Huh. Yeah, I've never used the shoal in any of the Splatoon games because it's local multiplayer stuff. Like, it's cool that it's there, but I've just never had a reason. Splatfest? Oh, maybe I'm offline. Maybe it put me offline. Splatfest? Splatfest? Yeah, I bet it put me offline. That's why. Okay. But yeah, I'm assuming you'll be able to match with people in the shoal and then people up here. Because the table turf machines also exist in this area. That, again, at the moment has no use. But I'm assuming you'll be able to find other, like, random people just sitting here. And you'll be able to table turf against them. So yeah, that'll be something cool in the future. Did I make any money? Again, I had, there was a point where I had $500,000. And now I'm down to like 50K. Okay, we're back up. We're up to 78K. I've been spending more money recently. You know, I've been trying to buy more gear, more items, more equipment. Again, I'm trying to get good. I may not be good, but I'm trying to get good. And as a result, I'm buying more stuff. Like that. Oh wow, we already own everything there. Yeah, we made a few levels. Oh, we got some glasses. God, no, that's too expensive. It honestly surprises me that there's still stuff I don't own. Yeah, and then I found last Splatfest, if you remember, I was talking about how, like, I know there was the way to take a picture with deep cut, but I couldn't figure out how. You can take a picture with deep cut after you win, I want to say maybe a 10x or a 100x battle. It's something, you have to win a certain battle, and then that allows you to take a picture with deep cut. Which, I mean, again, taking a picture with Pearl and Marine, or taking a picture with Callie and Marie was something you were able to do in the first game. And then during Splatfest, you were able to do it with Pearl and Marina. But once the Splatfests were over, I think they took it away or something, and, like, it doesn't work anymore, so... I don't know, Splatoon 1 did this great thing where you could use the amiibos to, like, turn on the Splatfests again, and then they just didn't add that into Splatoon 2 for some reason. It was really weird. I do, though, fully expect these three to get amiibos at some point. I mean, I bought the new Zelda amiibo. I can already tell you I did pre-order it. And it may just add a new paraglider, but it's a cool look. Like, I remember seeing the statue at some Tokyo Game Show, Gamescom, one of those things, and thinking, that looks really cool. Was that truck always there? I don't always remember there being a truck with video feed on it back there. Huh. That might just be me going crazy. So, what's coming in the next few weeks? Well, I'll tell you, I've been putting stuff up on YouTube. I put up the stream highlights, which, I mean, highlights is the barest minimum word. And then I put up the trailer breakdowns on the main channel. So both of those are things that happened. I've also been messing around with TikTok and putting out, like, weird TikToks and whatnot. You know, basically just little, like, highlights, like, basically little, like, 60-second clips from the streams themselves. And it's kind of something I want to mess around with, but I know it also takes a lot of fucking time to do, so... I don't know. It's something I'm thinking about doing, you know, because TikTok is where the platform is at. Right? Oh, you don't get popular through Twitch. You don't get popular through YouTube. You get popular through TikTok nowadays. Like, I'm fully aware of that. So it's definitely something I think about. And then, yeah, so in the coming weeks, again, Pokemon is still something we always have to do. I should really just do it off stream and say fuck it. But I don't want to. I don't know. And then the other thing we gotta do is, Pikmin. Sometime, hopefully in the next week, we're either going to do Pikmin 1, or Pikmin 3. Because the problem with me doing Pikmin 1 is I have to set up the Wii U. And I really don't want to set up the Wii U. So we're either going to do Pikmin 1 or Pikmin 3. Because if I don't want to set, then I'll just play Pikmin 3. But we're going to do one of those games sometime, hopefully, in the next week or two. Because I've got a day off in the future. And so I think it would be a great time to, take advantage of that and do it. So that's my plan at the moment. That'd be a nice thing to do. But we'll see. Again, you know me. You know how I work. I just never get anything done. Always pushing it back towards the summer. Or, whatever. Oh god, am I going to have a busy summer? God, I hope I find time to play Pikmin 4. I'm way too excited. See, the thing is about Pikmin 3, though, and Pikmin 1, we could do those games in a single stream. I know Pikmin 3 like the back of my hand, more or less, so that I could do it right in a single stream, probably even on the hardest difficulty. Probably. Pikmin 1, on the other hand, I don't know as well, but it's also a very short game. So I'll probably be fine. I don't know. It's been a while since I played it. Pikmin 2, on the other hand, is going to take like a fucking week. Because it's Pikmin 2. And that's the one thing I hope they fix in 4. Because 2 ends, and then it goes on. And then it just keeps fucking going. And it goes way longer than it needs to. That's my one problem. Pikmin 1 is too short. Pikmin 2 is too long. 3, I think, hits the perfect length for me. And I hope 4 does something of the same. Or if Pikmin 4 is really long, which, again, I wouldn't really complain about, I just hope it feels more balanced. Because Pikmin 2 doesn't feel weighted in that way. Like, I feel like they put a lot of weight on the early game, and then the post-game just goes on forever. And you've got these fucking 15-story dungeons that you just hate by the end of it. You have to fight freaking pileated snagrets. Great series, though. Great series, love it to death. So yeah, with that, that's where I'm going to end off for the night, so I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Until next time, peace.